Hello, this is Dale Matthews. It's Inside News here with Mike Jones. Hello, Mike.
Good evening, Dale. I am all supplied up with hot tea and cough drops. Although I cannot guarantee you're not going to have a hacking fit interrupting tonight's program. So,
Oh, into our website? I hope not.
No, yes, right, exactly.
Expectorant?
That's exactly what I meant. Was
expectorant means that you're thinking of what's going to happen next, or you're coughing stuff up.
Yeah, I'm hacking up. I'm hacking up loogies here.
Yes.
Yes, just for a clear picture, so everybody understands what's
clear going on. Picture, right? But pull out that those pictures you had of your colonoscopy again. Okay, so just before we play the next candidate that was at the Friday Inside News Candidates Forum, I wanted to mention something that was in the Daily Courier's Weekend Edition. And when I first saw this, I thought, well, that's kind of cute. Bitly for county commissioner. And I was going to call the person that put that up and say, I'm totally in favor of things like none of the above. We give it all up for none of the above forevermore. So I'm looking at the bottom to see, well, who put up this kind of entertaining advertisement in the Courier? And I saw it was Marty Hill. Marty Hill. That name seems really, really familiar. Yeah, that's Cheryl Walker's husband. And not that picture, the guy that put up the advertisement in the Courier. Now, one can say, well, she's not running. It's a little bit insulting to the other candidates that Cheryl and her husband would put up an advertisement saying that a dog would make a good county commissioner. Okay.
I wonder how Keith feels about that.
Anyway, I thought it was kind of cute until I saw that it was Cheryl's husband that put that up there. Okay, so we're going to go straight to our next candidate, and that's Raymond Smith. Raymond?
Mm-hmm. The reason that I'm running is to represent the people. The public, I don't see, has representation from our current commissioners, and I haven't seen that since I've been here, actually. Part of that, as with Dale and Mark and Ron Smith, I oppose any new tax levies. And the current commissioners are now discussing Chapter Law 753. They've pretty much turned that over to the Lipsick committee to go to our state reps to ask for help from the state. That's wrong. The county commissioners, by charter, have the power, the only power, to represent the public in the county. That specific law only allows the commissioners and the sheriff to discuss this with the governor, to actually make this decision. They're leaving one key point out, which is the people. I don't believe the people want this. I don't want it. There's strings attached. There's no free money. They're going to instantly, the legislature is going to come back with another House Joint Resolution 21, where they're going to ask the state to raise our property taxes. The governor can't do that, not with this law, not with any law. That's in the Constitution with our property tax limitation. But they can't ask the state to raise it to a minimum, which that was the $2 bill. Anyway, I oppose that. I oppose any legislation at the state level or any level that's going to circumvent or remove the public's voice or the public to be able to consent to taxation. That's what this does. The county charter. I agree with Bill in one respect, Bill Ertl. It does need to be revisited. I've said that. but the power rests with the people. The state constitution only allows the people to, the process of initiative, referendum, repeal, or adoption of the county charter. That has to come from the people. So as a commissioner, you need to work with the people to fix what's been taken out of it, which is many things. You've got to work with council to craft what's been taken out of it in a way that it becomes legal and still retains the most intent that the people put in it originally. So anything with the charter has to be brought to the people. They're the only ones that can adopt that or change it. And the commissioners can't, according to law, they can't even, they can't rewrite anything, and they can't bring it to the public either. It has to be initiated by the public itself. And I, as with Dale Matthews, I agree to the charter. That's our constitution. It's in accordance with the state constitution. And I agree to accept the $30,000 that's in there. The state constitution says that you shall set the wages of your county commissioners. That's what our charter does. So that can only be changed by the public. So sustainable funding. People keep talking about sustainable funding. I don't believe, I've never seen a government that could ever get sustainable funding because they have this incredible thirst for money. As soon as they get more, they spend it, and that way they can justify asking for more. We need a sustainable government, and I think the charter is the first place we can look at for the commissioners. We don't have any, I haven't heard anything from the unions offering anything back to the public. I haven't heard of the people such as the sheriff.
Time.
Time?
So wrap it up there.
Okay. Anyway, as far as, I'm going to wrap it up, what we can do, I think we should streamline the government, eliminate as much wasteful spending as we can, redirect available funds that are being squirreled away for other things, and redirect available staff to support the public safety, and go after the federal government instead of the state on the O&C funds. Instead of the state actually making laws to circumvent the will of the public, they should be offering to help. Half of their counties in the state are O&C counties. They haven't offered to help go after the federal government. Okay. They only want to circumvent our will. So
thanks, Raymond.
Yep.
Any questions for Raymond?
Yeah, thank you, Raymond. Gunter Ambron, 211 Ivy Drive, and also part of the Ken Rose Neighborhood Watch group. And we had Jimmy Evans here recently on the Cave Junction Citizens Patrol, and it's quite a soup. I've been a store participant. I've had a shop here in town for about 6 years, from 2003 to 2009, and I've never seen it as bad as it's been the last couple of years, especially the last year. Mm-hmm. So, and for about 15
what's your
years,
question for Raymond?
For about 15 years, I've studied government and also democracy and the republic and the history going behind it. So I'm hearing much closer to what we need, and that is the people to be educated enough to take charge of their government once again. Mm-hmm. And
question?
Part of that structure is going back to grassroots, and that would be, would you support a grassroots movement that would break up and then break the county into districts, and then each district would have a representative, and then move into the county? All of our governments right now are corporations. So, and there's plenty of proven fact.
Did you catch that question there, Raymond?
Well, specifically about districts and more representatives. So you is that something like you're
taking a basic Republican structure,
Mhm.
which we don't have because we all have corporate governments.
Mhm.
We vote in initiatives. You also talked about the voter initiative.
We just need a clarification on the question. That's all.
The clarification is, would you go back to a historic Republican form of governance to support people's control of their government?
Well, we have the county charter, which does put the power with the people if they use it. And as far as the historic thing, I don't know. You've got the representatives that you elect should represent the public, and they should abide by the will of the public and abide by the charter.
You mentioned it was structural, the problem with it, and also the previous.
Hang on a second.
Bill,
He's addressing your question. We really don't have time to have statements and long.
it's more of probably a personal dialogue. I have some information I'll share, especially I want to invite also all of the candidates on the 14th for a town hall on just enforcement and crime at the Selma Center. So I'll get back to everybody.
Thank you very much. Okay, quickly there, Vivian.
Okay, I had an idea. We used to have one of these people where I worked. I was the person. If it's not in the budget and you get a piece of paper that passes over your desk, how are you going to make sure it's either in the budget, not in the budget? If it's not in the budget, are you going to stop it? And that's the way government should be run. Are you going to stop it? If it's going over your desk and it's not in the budget, are you going to stop it? Stop whatever this expenditure is.
Well, I think that question belongs with the people. If there's something there that doesn't belong in the budget and it's something that's important, then the people should weigh in on it. But other than that, no, I don't see that it'd be spending money that's not supposed to be spent. So,
thanks, Raymond. Raymond Smith.
Thank you for all that, Mike.
And there was a little seminar, short seminar, continuing seminar on how not to ask questions at public events. Yes.
Well, I'm not sure that fellow meant to ask a question, actually, but okay, whatever.
You're right. Yes.
Okay, so I've been spending the last few days searching for candidate websites. This is a political show. You're not going to see candidate websites all grouped together, clumped together. You're not going to see that any other place. And so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to present to you, to the best of my ability, all of the candidates' websites, all in one place. So these are all stills from their websites. The first one is Sandy Casanelli. Now, this is, this is from several years ago. This is as close as I can get. It does say Sandy Casanelli for county commissioner, but this is from the last time that she ran. She does not have, as far as I know, a current website, but you can read about Sandy Casanelli and the things for which she stands by just putting on Google Sandy Casanelli for county commissioner.
And is this at the old web address is sandy4joko.com or something like that?
I believe that's the case. Okay. You can also Google. I did try to Google all the county commissioner candidates, all of them, to try to find out if there's something for each one of them, and as you'll see,
but there was a little bit of a hint to that, if you recall, when we were reading the voters pamphlet statements. Many of those at the end of the voters pamphlet statement, there is a web address, so
including one of them that doesn't exist. Yes.
Okay.
So that's Sandy Casanelli. Now here's another one. Dan DeYoung, to the best of my knowledge, does not have a website, but he does have some video that was shot several years ago when he was running for county commissioner. To me, one of the interesting things about this social media presence on YouTube is that the introducer to this, its prime person that's pushing that Dan DeYoung should be a county commissioner, is Lily Morgan. So if you go to YouTube and type Dan DeYoung for county commissioner, you will see this social media presence, but to the best of my knowledge, not a website, at least at this time. That's the best I can do, everybody. Okay, next one. This is no, it's not. It's Nathaniel Duarte. Nathaniel Duarte with the big picture up on top. You're going to have to scroll down to see more about Nathaniel Duarte. And here's what you'll see when you scroll down. That is Nathaniel Duarte. He is 19 years old. He's running for county commissioner. And you can read more about him at, I think it's called nathanielduarte.com.
No, it isn't. It's voteduarte.com.
My mistake. Okay. I will see that everybody can get those if they wish to. This is a quick overview of all of the candidates' websites. Then when you, he's got several places up there where you can click on various tabs. And one of those tabs, not all candidates have fully functional tabs, but he does. And if you click on My Promises, there is what Nathaniel Duarte has to say about what he's going to do to satisfy the people of the county.
Any brief specificity on that?
It looks like it comes straight from his voters pamphlet statement, which we read aloud on our show.
Okay.
Well, now, and another thing that he has.
Do you happen to remember? I'm sorry. Do you happen to remember off the top of your head what day we did because we did a show where Dale and I did nothing but read every single entry into the voters pamphlet, and so you can reference that, and you're not going to be able to get it anywhere else because it doesn't even come out here for a couple of more weeks, right?
Yeah, even though I like Tricia, and she, the current county clerk, and she did say that we were going to get a chance to take a look at it sooner rather than later. That's not turned out to be the case so far. So it is, as I said, as Mike just said, ours is the only place where you can see that. Yes, that was Thursday the 17th, sir.
Okay, awesome.
Not a couple of days ago, but just a week before that. So you can watch that, and you'll see up on our website that if you click on the one here where Mike has a big black thing over his face to protect his anonymity, if you click on that one, you can then listen to the scintillating review, not a review, just a simple reading of all of the voters' pamphlet statements. We present that. That's the kind of thing that we do. Of course. So Nathaniel Duarte is making promises, and you can see what those are. And then if you go to another
chicken in every pot.
Yep. And Mark Seligman would have something slightly different than that.
Yeah, a pot with every chicken. Some pot with every chicken.
Yes, and that's true. And this is a question that he posed, Nathaniel Duarte, what makes you qualified to be a county commissioner? And there's quite a bit to read there. It's pretty wordy. So that's Nathaniel Duarte's website. Okay. Now, here is Harriet Harris. Harriet Harris has another big picture toward the top, and then you can scroll down and see some large writing. Somebody did a lot of work on this site, and hers is harriethharris.com, I believe.
It reminds me a little bit of the New England Patriots for some reason. Yeah,
the swoosh there, the angled swoosh. I agree with you. Yes, it does. And then Harriet Harris decided to wear her uniform, her old uniform, as part of her campaign. That's well, to the best of my knowledge, because I am currently in the Air Force Auxiliary, you're not supposed to do that. I like her. I respect her service to the country, but in a political website, probably not supposed to be wearing your uniform. It's
Really?
a choice you made. Yes. I've been told that I cannot wear, I am currently in, but I've been told that I cannot wear my uniform to anything that's political. And the last time I wore it was the 4th of July presentation with cadets from the Air Force Auxiliary that were doing a flag ceremony. And then I asked permission to do so. And a political website, probably not good. Okay, but hey, that's her choice. She can do that. Now, then she has one of her cutaways to another page, one of her jump pages, is about housing the homeless. And Mike and I both know, because she's talked to us about this, that is one of her primary concerns, that the homeless will have housing. And it's near to her heart. So this is a pretty complete website.
Yeah. I don't know if that's necessarily a function of a county commissioner, but I'm glad that she's concerned about it. I think it's a valid thing to be concerned about. She does go into some detail when we get around to her statement from last week's Kennedy's Forum.
Right, and just so that you notice, we are lightly touching on these websites because we're trying to have them speak for themselves, although there are some things that immediately occur to either one of us. Yeah. For example, that Keith Heck doesn't have a website, not that I can find any place. So the best social media presence that we can find for Keith Heck, incumbent county commissioner, is his picture and where he's looking fairly pensive, and his write-up on the county government's website. Okay.
I see. He also does have, though, and let me just flash it up here for you. He does have a Facebook page. And I remember about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, when I first came to this Facebook page, it had 13 people like it. That massive show of support has since doubled to 26.
Right.
And there you have it.
And what is the date of the latest? Does it say March 20?
Yes, March 20 at 4:19 p.m. there. Let's take a look. He says on March 20th, okay, as much as I don't prefer it, I realize that it is a necessary evil of my position, campaigning. So if you would prefer making my life a bit easier, please do pass this web address along as many of your friends and mine as possible. It is deeply appreciated. Second, I'm assuming that he means for the Facebook page. Because there is no actual web address that's listed anywhere in here. Second, if you would like to place a lawn sign on your property, just message me and I can get it to you, blah, 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 blah.
Right. Okay. So, and here he is.
So on the Keith O. Heck hard sign, your Heck Yes yard sign.
Heck yes. So, it is true that Mark Kelsey is still listed as a candidate, and and the best or latest presence that I can find for this guy is the Facebook site that used to be called Recall Simon Hare, and now it's called Vote Trump 16, and that's taken down.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I grabbed up an image of that, and this is it.
Yeah, Mark Kelsey has a presence on Facebook on a couple of other pages, but there's nothing political going on there. I don't know. I think maybe he wants to see how many votes he's going to get or something. I'm running a campaign to make sure he gets as few as possible.
Oh, well, okay. Now here's another one where you probably feel the same way. And this is Dale Matthews, and right, and so that's what you see when it first comes up. You'll note at the top, you can click on something there, and it will show you all of the candidates and the things that they had to say last Friday. And when you scroll down, here's the stands that he has. Someone's running this site for me. He asked to do that. I said, okay, that's cool. And then another thing is, if you click on news, you will find, or click on that thing on the front of, taking up front page real estate, you will see this candidates forum. It has all of the competitors from Friday on it. That just seems like the right thing to do to me. And so that's all up there. And in addition to that, if you want to find out what the Dale Matthews voters pamphlet statement is, that's also there. So all of that stuff is available to you. It's a fairly complete website. And,
yeah, it's a good-looking website, I think.
Yeah, one of the things that's going to happen is that following this show, with all of the candidates' websites, including my competitors, I asked the person putting together the website to please put all of my competitors' website addresses on the front page of my candidacy, of my candidates.
Wow, that's one-stop shopping. I'm not sure that I would do that if I were running. So
that's the way I roll.
Okay, all right.
I want everybody to be able to see for themselves what the competitors have to say. That's why all those things from Friday night. That's why they're all up there. I want everybody to see it all, and I personally feel that's the right thing in a commissioner. That's my personal feeling. Mm-hmm. Now, speaking of the right thing for a commissioner, I did search for Joseph Rice, and just shortly before this show, just a few minutes ago, I checked to see if there were any updates, and the newest update, this is the only thing that's at Joseph Rice 2016, which he put in the voters pamphlet. This is the only thing that you'll see. As of a couple hours ago, as of a couple minutes ago, this is not available. That's all there is. Now, certainly I anticipate we're going to see a lot more, but as of today, this was it, and now you can't get to this. Okay. You'll note that we're going down. Go ahead.
Yeah, actually, I just loaded it, and it seems to be loading up fine.
Okay.
There's a couple of tabs, a few tabs across the top. That's josephrice2016.com.
Can you pull that up, Mike?
Yeah, I can. Here, hang on just a second here. I have to add it to the.
Okay.
Standing by. Okay. Okay, there it is, and this is the page that loads up when you first go in, and so I'm assuming that this is the home link, and then there's a news link coming soon, community link coming soon, how to help, and then get your yard signs. There's how you do that, and a contact that shows his email address.
Okay. No, I know the guy's running against me, but you need to know as much as possible about all the candidates. That's just the right thing to do. That's my opinion. Okay, so for commissioner candidates for number 2, the next one is, and last one on that list alphabetically is Paul Walter. And if you want to find out about Paul Walter, you need to go to his commercial website, and you may see things on there about Paul Walter. That's
yeah. That's I'm a little surprised that somebody who runs a website doesn't have a website up for their candidacy. Maybe they do somewhere. We just don't know what the address is or something.
Well, he said in his voters pamphlet statement, and he said a number of times, that if you want to find out about him, that one way to find out is to go to his commercial website. And do know that the last time that he ran, that he was saying that the reason that he ran that time was he was trying to sign people up for his commercial website. This time, he says the main plank of his platform is to be sure the city councilors are not elected. And that is pretty much all that he has to say at the moment. But he may say a lot more. But that, at this moment, this is what he has to offer to find out more about him and his candidacy. I couldn't find anything about his candidacy, but it doesn't mean it won't ever be there.
Now, there is one thing about that particular website that he does list. As I was reading over his voters pamphlet statement here, it says newswithviews.com/southernoregon.htm, which would probably differentiate the local news from the nationwide news, and so perhaps that's the location where his information about his candidacy is. I do not know that.
Well, I couldn't find anything more there, but that may be the case, and I just might be missing it. Okay, there is one more person, and the reason I was thrown off about this a little bit is that Tony Webb is not in the voters pamphlet, but nevertheless, here is her campaign website. And there's a picture of Tony, and you can go there and see what it is that she has to say about running for county commissioner. And then then she has a lot to say, and you'll need just a little bit of time to go through that and see what are the statements that she has about the things that she needs to tell you about herself. And you will see on here that she was pretty excited about meeting with Donald Trump Jr. And there was a picture on her website of her meeting with Donald Trump Jr. And when you click on news, you will find a press release about Tony Webb meeting with Donald Trump Jr. If that makes your
on the discussion of what topic?
Oh, about the need for more local control over federal lands.
Well, and that's
federally blocked lands, federally supposedly managed lands. Yeah.
Right. That's an interesting contrast because Donald Trump is on record here not all that long ago. And of course, I think he's probably flipped back and forth a couple of times on this particular topic. But he was on record saying he didn't want the federal lands going back to the states because you never know what they might do with them. They might sell the stuff, and we wouldn't want that. And I think that he has bounced back and forth a couple of times on that particular topic, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, Tony Webb is very proud of the fact that she met and shook hands with Donald Trump Jr. And so she's making the most of that. And you can read that a couple of times over on her Tony Webb website.
Okay.
Yeah, because she's very pleased about that. All right, then I did call this fellow right here, and I told him that we're doing a show about websites. And I reminded him that he can come anytime and join a Facebook site of which he knows something about. And this guy is Shane Kristen. And this, to my knowledge, is the only appearance that he's made on social media. And that was at the Inside News Candidates Forum.
Well, I can tell you that earlier today, he did apply to Josephine County Politics for membership.
Oh, good.
about an hour ago, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
So hopefully, Vivian, if you're watching, please go in there and approve Shane Kristen's application for Josephine County politics, so we can get him in there and start hearing from him.
So that's not a website, but hey, it's a good start. So
yeah, it's social media. You know, it's
Sure.
some degree of social media, and that means that he has a Facebook page, and that's one step into it. Listen, I would tell every candidate, if you're not on Facebook, you are missing out on a fairly large swath of PR that you can get. However, there's a lot of people that are all over the internet on a daily basis and don't have Facebook at all. And so if you don't, you should definitely have both a Facebook page and a website. I think you're foolish if you don't cover all those bases.
Well, some people will say that if you're a serious candidate and you're not just going to do a cookie cutter approach, like fill in your name on a prearranged website, that maybe you need to have something in the voters pamphlet, that you need to have some kind of social media presence, and probably a sign or two. And yeah, when the forums happen, it's probably a good idea to attend, so that, and well, Tony has not, but Shane has, to tell people what you're about. And he appreciated me calling him. That's one of the things that we do, is we try to be sure everybody can hear about everybody. Yes, that's the right thing. So I did look for Bill Earl, and I couldn't find anything for Bill except something that's several years old on the local Republican website. And there's Bill Earl listed. He is no longer the chair of the Republican Central Committee here locally, but you may be interested in seeing, I doubt that you can read this, but the vice chair is Eric Shaftsma.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's a name that's fairly familiar. And this is the only, I'm sorry guys, this is the only social media presence that I could find on the Republican Central Committee website here in Josephine County. So he may have determined for himself that that's not the most important thing. Okay, it's not for everybody. Okay, so the next one is Bill Hunker. He's got a pretty attractive looking website, in my opinion. And not a bad looking guy either, if that's the way you go. And so I think that he's done a pretty good. Come on now, Mike. I'm just trying to include you too.
Thank you. Yeah.
So nice layout here. It says there's 1 month to go before the election. Bill, that's not quite right. There's almost 2 months left before the election, but pretty close. And before the final day, and a real nice red, white, and blue behind him, and the county logo. Okay. And there's 2 pictures of Bill, the same. And he's got a number of things to say about why he should be a county commissioner. And I think it's pretty close to matching his voters pamphlet statement. I think so. And then here, if you go on, he's got some specific things to say about a number of issues, including his position on taxes, which is always nice. Don't mess with taxes. And then he's got some more things to say about, what does this say? About taxes. No, he's got something more to say than that. I tried to include 3 or 4 clips from each of the websites. He's got things to say about, here's his resume. If you want to know more about who this Bill Hunker is, there is his resume. Right. Then this next one was a little bit of a challenge. Finding some kind of social media presence for David Martin. This seems to harken back to the beginning of the show. David Martin, there is a website for Martin's printing, and there's no information about David Martin, but it does have his name, and he is with Martin's Printing. So
yes,
I could find,
however,
I could find, but
yeah, there is more than that. And I'll bring it up and you just continue on here.
There's more?
Because I went looking for, yeah, well, I'm sure that aren't there more websites?
I couldn't find any more. I really did search. I mean, I didn't want to give up on this one. This one was the most problematic for me because we don't have any video of him, so I couldn't show that, and I couldn't find a website for him, and the only thing I really know about him is he didn't want to sign that letter saying he didn't want the governor to come down here and take over, and that's all that I can find. That's all that I know. I don't know anything more about him, and I don't have any footage of him. So I don't want to be unfair. I couldn't find it. So if you can, that would be great. Okay, because I hate to admit defeat. While Mike is looking for that,
this right here as it's loading, and it's loading very, very slowly because we're having a video conversation here. But this is on his website. OneStopColor.com, which links to GrantsPassSigns.com/commissioner. And the only way that you could find this, if you went to GrantsPassSigns.com, is you'll notice the three little horizontal lines up in the upper left corner, which a lot of people understand now if you're hip to the scene. All these menus are being, you don't have a bunch of buttons going across the top. What you have is a little drop down. And if you look at this, you hit that drop down, there's a home, a blog, and commissioner. Commissioner's site is what we have here right now. And then I will advocate to prioritize the budget, starting with public safety. I will advocate to reduce compensation for county commissioners. I will not accept PERS, public employee retirement system, and then he goes on to talk about. Here's even a video. I haven't seen this because this is new and I can't play that on my end.
Dang it!
You probably could, using a desktop capture on yours. You probably could play that. And look. Here's a bunch of them. Safety First funding, trim and dedicate, O&C timber harvest and coordination, fiscal state of emergency, economic development, audits.
Videos. Oh, wow. How did I know how I missed all this because
because Dale doesn't know how to use Google.
Well, why am I having to search for this?
Oh, right. I mean, they should be publicizing their own websites if they're trying to get. Listen, no one is going to find that website. Nobody is going to find. I mean, I was very lucky to find the web. I knew where the guy worked because I've been into his office before. I've done business with Martin's Printing on a number of occasions.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I knew where to go look for, and I found that only by accident. I think that he needs to be a little bit less cryptic.
There's another candidate that falls into that category, but we're doing that kind of review today. Okay, so here's one that does not. This is Lily Morgan. Lily Morgan. She's got the big F for Facebook over her forehead. Okay. And as you page down through her website front page, that sign in the upper left-hand corner, which is her yard sign, follows you. Whoa, that's pretty sophisticated. And so Lily Morgan's stand on various things. And when you click, the best I could see is that pretty much all of these, not the one endorsements, because that says coming soon, but most of Lily Morgan's buttons work. That doesn't sound right, but you know what I mean. And if you click on About Lily Morgan, you can find out more about her. And that's pretty cool. Okay. And important. And she has several positions that she is happy to tell you about. And so that's also there on her, I think it's called votelilymorgan.com, isn't it? I think so.
I think you're right. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And she did put that in the voters pamphlet. And so that's a good thing in my opinion. And then that's pretty much what she has.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Fine. That's cool. All right. Now, Mark Seligman does not have a website, but he does have a Facebook presence. He has his own website, called Southern Oregon Politics, and this is his slightly truncated sign that he's taking around to various establishments. You can see that he's changed the previous look of his sign, and now it has marijuana leaves on it.
Yeah, he actually has a number of these postings, and some of them have the marijuana leaves on. Some of them have a marijuana leaf on one side and a dollar sign on the other. Some of them don't have either of those on them. And most of his Facebook postings actually do show the whole sign on there, and it's just on that one particular website, which he is the administrator of, by the way.
Right.
Is that particular one.
Now he also has, as you'll see, he set up his cell phone lengthwise and sat in front of it and shot a video of himself explaining his candidacy, also on that same website, Southern Oregon Politics, and he'll tell you at length about his stand, especially on marijuana. Yeah. So it's nice that he has a video of himself. No website at the moment, but he's hitting it hard with Facebook. So, okay. Now, another one is Ron Smith. This is a little different story. Ron Smith had a sign that we all saw on the Hidden Valley High School wall at their basketball arena. And there were some that objected. Ron Smith didn't do anything wrong, but somebody objected to his crew paying to put his sign up on the wall. And so they insisted to come down. And when you look at that sign, there was a website listed for that. It was on his signs. Well, the story behind that is that he had tried to arrange with one person, and the person said, okay, I will make a website for you. Then he changed his mind and went with another person who was his friend. His friend, I've been told, kind of dropped the ball. That happens occasionally. And so didn't do that website for him. So we went back to the first person who said, well, now, I'm sort of busy. And so at this exact moment, Ron Smith doesn't have a website. But here he is on Inside News, an extended segment for over 45 minutes where he's explaining his stance on various issues. So once again, we are the source for Ron Smith News at the moment, including putting on the Friday Inside News Candidates Forum much more about Ron Smith. Okay, that's cool. A person that almost falls into the same category is Raymond Smith. And Raymond Smith, going full circle since Raymond started off the show, Raymond Smith was on our show explaining what he's about. But Raymond Smith has one more thing that's going for him, and that is just today, just a couple of hours ago, Donna Smith, who's a relative of his, put a black and white picture of Raymond up on Josephine County Politics. He's been invited to post this same thing over on Vivian Kirkpatrick Pilger's new website, which is called, Mike?
Josephine County Elections.
Okay.
There's a Facebook page. So, right. and listen, if you're watching this show, she promises to put information about all the candidates over there and inviting all of the candidates to post on that website. And, so we all have complete information. And since it's Josephine County elections, I think that it probably goes to other elections that aren't necessarily commissioner, a dog catcher maybe.
I don't know. But at any rate, so they posted that along with on Josephine County Politics, probably soon to be on Josephine County Elections. And you can read these things and read his voters pamphlet statement. They did that I mean, this is up to the minute news here and so important. They put that up there just recently, just an hour or two ago. So, okay, that's the latest news that we have about candidates' websites. I think that we handled that fairly, didn't we, Mike?
Yeah, I think so. And I can't believe that it took almost an hour to do that. Wow. Time flies when you're,
yeah, you know. To go through pretty quickly. All those people on Friday night that spoke to a person, every one of them said, my 5 minutes is up. They couldn't believe it. One guy well, it wasn't 5 minutes. It was actually more than 5 minutes. They just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get a roll on.
Yes. It seems like something a sweaty person would say, but okay. Right, so thank you for joining us this evening. Once again, this is the only place where you're going to see this kind of stuff. Thank goodness. And we were happy to bring it to you, and we will bring you much more as long as people generally agree. What I'll probably do is go to both of their sites and put links up for every county commissioner's website so that you can get to them immediately, and you'll be able to find that somewhere else that I already told you about without making a big deal about it, too big a deal. So yeah, the better informed the voters are, the better county we'll have. That's the theory.
Mm-hmm.